Hello, everyone. We're learning the Dvar Malchut. Please excuse the terrible quality of the camera, but the main thing is the text. And also, let's give charity. We gave charity, but it was on the other time. Here we go. Ready? Excuse me. Here we go. Charity. The world depends on charity. Don't forget to give charity every day. Don't forget. All right, this is the Dvar Malchut, the royal words of the Rebbe that the Rebbe spoke in the end of 1991, or maybe it was the beginning of 1992 back then, could be. Okay, these are from the speeches of Chanuka. Chanuka this year is going to be Wednesday night. We light one candle, next night we light two, etc. One of the novelties of the Yom Tov of Chanuka regarding all the other holidays is that on Chanuka, is Chanuka, that all the other holidays, and also on Shabbat, there's an obligation to make meals. Make meals. It's a commandment from the rabbis. We make a meal, a Sudat Shabbat, Sudat Chag, holiday. And the main thing is to have bread and water, also meat and wine. So there's a commandment. You have to have a Shabbat meal and a Yom Tov meal. Even Passover, even Purim. Purim is a big thing. Suda Purim is one of the four unique things we do on Purim. We read the Megillah and we have a meal. We have to be happy. Give gifts to one another. Give charity to the poor. Meal is a big thing, which is not the case Chanuka. Chanuka is the only Jewish holiday that there's no obligation to make meal. Riba Yasudas, the meals that you do have on the Chanuka, these are Suda to Reshut. They're optional. Shalom kavam the Mishnah b'simcha, because the holiday of Chanuka was not set for festive meals. The holiday of Chanuka is especially a holiday of giving praise to God. Giving praise to God. And the main thing is, of course, that's what we do in the prayers in the morning, especially, as we say Hallel, and we have a special prayer that we put into the standing prayer, the Shemona Esrei, which is called Al Hanisim, and we light candles. The candles were made because of the miracle of oil, but there's no commandment on Chanukah to have meals. One of the reasons for this, because the miracle of Chanukah was a victory against the Greeks, that they did not want to kill the Jews, they didn't want to destroy the temple, they didn't even want to destroy the Torah or replace it. All they wanted to do was make the Jews forget that it was God's Torah, and to make them transgress the God's commandments. They didn't mind that you could do the commandments, not that you do the commandments like non-Jews do their rituals, do their. So the Greeks, their main battle against the Jews was a spiritual one. Below Purim, not like on Purim, that the main thing was that they got saved from physical destruction. Haman wanted to destroy the bodies of the Jews. Also, same thing was in Passover. They got saved from slavery, physical slavery in Egypt. Look, and therefore, therefore the miracle was set. The miracle was set not on Chanukah. The miracle was set not in meals or in rejoicing that's connected to meals, but with candles. Near mitzvah v'torah. At first glance, we can say So the whole novelty of Chanuka regarding all the other holidays is not only in it's more spiritual, obviously spiritual, but Gam also b'yachas le'inyanim ruchnim, also how it treats the spiritual aspect of the holidays. Now, every holiday has its spiritual aspects, spiritual aspects. Right? Passover, we got out of Egypt, we're freed, we got the Torah and Shavuos. These are all spiritual, what I call religious things. But on Chanukah, it's a little bit different. How so? Even the spiritual aspect of Chanukah is different. How we treat the spiritual. Shagami Yani Magashmi, that also the physical things of the Jews for the rest of the year are really spiritual. Because Jewish people have this book which is called the Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch explains that you're supposed to serve God because He's creating you. He's creating you every moment, and so you should serve Him every moment. So therefore, everything that you do should be for the sake of heaven. In all of your ways, everything you do, you should know God. In other words, you should be attached to God in everything that you do, because God is not a religious figure. I mean, He certainly is a religious figure, but He's not limited to being a religious figure. God is creating us. God, every detail of our lives is being created by God. God is not separate from us. We're not separate from Him, even though it seems to be that way, and that's the big miracle. But however it is, God is creating us all the time. So therefore, we have to constantly be thankful and grateful and responsible to God and responsive to God. Shagam and Yanim Gashmi, that even the physical things that the Jews do all the rest of the year are really spiritual. Because everything we're doing, we're eating our meal, we're going to our job. It's not you have to stop working or stop family and leave your family, leave your wife, leave your house, go up and sit on a mountain or in some sort of a monastery or something, and then you can be spiritual. Right? Exactly the opposite. The job of the Jewish people is to show the whole world is spiritual, that everything is really a big miracle. It's being created all the time. So therefore, even the physical aspects of Judaism and of the Jewish people, even things that are not religious at all, not connected to Judaism at all, right? Your car that you drive and the clothes that you wear, not special car or special clothes. Even the most physical things you do the whole rest of the year are all spiritual. Everything you do is for the sake of heaven or to connect to God. Like it's also eating and drinking. That bread and water, which is the main eating of a person, are compared to Torah. When you eat bread and when you drink water, nikar v'nirgash, it should be recognized and felt that they are just a mashal. It's just a metaphor for the Torah. You're sitting down and eating a meal. That meal is just a metaphor. The meat that you're eating and the bread that you're eating and the drink, it's just a metaphor for Torah and the commandments. The world comes from the Torah. It's not the other way around. So the whole entire world is sort of like the fingerprints of God, including the food that you eat and etc. So everything is if these things which we said in the weekdays, on Shabbatot, on the weekdays everything is holy, everything is godly, and Shabbat, and on the holidays, how much more so? Ad kedei kach, the degree, and on Shabbat and the weekdays, achila v'shtia, on the Shabbat and the holy days, the holidays, the eating and the drinking, Sudat Shabbat is a mitzvah. The whole entire meal is really a big mitzvah, Sudat mitzvah. It's a big, how do you say, a commanded meal. Onik Shabbos v'simchas Yom Tov. The pleasure of Shabbat and the joy of Yom Tov. Alder says similarly, Yom Tovim and the days which are connected to the physical bodies of the Jewish people, Purim, Passover, that they're attached to really something spiritual. Now, we didn't just get out of Egypt and became politically free. Now we can elect our own rulers, and we're not under the whims of the pharaohs of Egypt. Now we can decide our own lot. We can make our own way in life. We're not limited physically to being in Egypt. No, that's very nice. Also, Purim. Purim stood up the Haman, like Hitler, and he wanted to kill us, and we got out. So he saved our lives. We're physically free. We're physically free. Says the fact of the matter is we're physically free all the time. And the main thing of the holidays, even though it's true we got physically free, but the physicality of a Jew is spiritual. Because in fact, the physicality of everybody is spiritual. The whole world is being created by God. So if that's the way it is in the weekdays, how much more so in the holidays? And even those holidays when we celebrate a physical miracle. Physically, we got out of Egypt. Physically, we were saved from Haman. Because on Passover, we can also stress the other part. Why did we go out of Egypt? We went out of Egypt in order to receive the Torah. So going out of Egypt wasn't just a political accomplishment, occurrence in the history of the world. One nation ruled over the other nation. One nation broke free, right? What is it? Scotland broke free from England or whatever. Here we're talking about the Jewish people got out of Egypt in order to receive the Torah. Similarly on Purim. And then in Purim, the Jewish people did what they received at Mount Sinai. At Mount Sinai, they were commanded to be totally devoted to God. The first time it really happened was after Purim. All the Jewish people, right? Haman was going to kill everybody that refused to deny their Judaism, to kill all the Jews. If a Jew would just deny his Judaism, Haman wouldn't kill him. It says not one Jew, not one man, woman, child even thought to deny their Judaism. That's what Chabad says. If so, that's the whole essence of what the Torah is. The whole essence of the Torah is that our whole being is devoted to the Creator. That's our whole being. We can't deny our Judaism. We're denying the truth. So on both Purim and Passover, even though that ostensibly they were physical holidays, we're celebrating a physical thing, but really if you look just a little bit under the surface, you see that really they're very, very spiritual holidays. On Passover, we got free in order to receive the Torah. And on Purim, we got free, and with this we demonstrated the whole essence of what the Torah is. Total self-sacrifice for God, the identity of the Jewish people. But on Chanuka, and also the other way, the spiritual victory. I'm sorry. Yeah. So these holidays, which are really celebrating a physical thing, they're really, in fact, very spiritual in their nature, Passover and Purim. But Chanukah is purely spiritual. We'll see. Also the other way around, that the spiritual victory of Chanukah is connected with a physical victory, right? Shenosav l'kach, not only that batla datam v'lo nicho otam lasok b'torah b'mitzvot, that the Greeks tried to destroy the religion of Judaism and didn't let the Jews work at Torah and the commandments. It says even more that the Rambam brings that the Greeks weren't so purely spiritual as you think. It says the Greeks, they took the money of the Jews. It says they married Jewish women. They tried to take the women away, and they put a big pressure on them. Then, when the Chashmonim defeated them, then they got physically free. So therefore, they were. So we see Passover and Purim are physical holidays. We got free from Egypt. We got free from Haman, physical. But if you look under the surface, you see that they were also spiritual. Passover, we received the Torah. Purim, we express the essence of what the Torah is. Chanukah is almost the opposite way around. The main thing of the Greeks was to make the Jews forget about God. Do the commandments, but forget about God. But if you look a little bit under the surface, you see that the Greeks weren't so spiritually motivated only. And the Greeks also saw the Jewish women, they saw Jewish money, they saw that the people they could control. So the Greeks were also oppressive physically, but that was a secondary thing. From this it's understood that the whole novelty of the days of Chanuka, that the days of Chanuka were not set for meals, for making physical meals, like all the other but for Halal Bahodah, but for praising God is especially stressing the spiritual side. Chanukah especially stresses the spiritual freedom from the spiritual oppression of the Greeks. The Greeks, and what was the spiritual oppression of the Greeks? It wasn't so oppressive unless you consider Torah and the godliness of the Torah and the commandments as the most valuable thing in the world. And that's what the Greeks tried to take away from us. But if you don't look at the godliness as so valuable, the Greeks were good guys. The Greeks were very philosophical. The Greeks were fun-loving people. The Greeks had conquered the whole entire world. They were willing to be friends with the Jews. The Greeks were all right. There was nothing wrong with they didn't oppress the Jews so much physically. They did oppress them physically. The main oppression was spiritual. So you can say, so what's so big deal spiritual? Let them oppress me spiritual. What do I care? What's so important about spirit? Says that's the whole idea of what was Chanukah. The Jewish people had forgotten about the spiritual. They had forgotten about the godly side of Judaism. And therefore the Greeks very easily could just carry it a little bit further, right? To totally forget. You wouldn't have any chance. No one would be able to think about God and Judaism. That's what the Greeks wanted to do. And there were 13 zealots, 13 fanatics that say, hey, we're not going to do the commandments cold. We're not going to learn the Torah like you learn the Iliad and the Odyssey or whatever they learn. It's godly. We're going to do it. And that's what the battle was. The novelty of Chanukah, even though there was a physical side to Chanukah. They took the Jews' money, they took their daughters, they took this. But nevertheless, we did not make the holiday of Chanukah to remember those physical things, like all the other days. But we're stressing constantly that the main thing of Chanukah is Halil V'Hodah, praising God. How the main holiday of Chanukah is praising God for the spiritual victory. This is stressing the spiritual victory, Hatzalah Ruchnias, of the miracle of Chanukah. I mean, just think about it. There were 13 Jews. That's what Rashi says. There were 13 Jews, and they fought against tens of thousands of Greeks that had conquered the whole world. And these Jews, they didn't even know how to fight. They weren't even warriors. And even if they were warriors, I mean, you can't, 13 people can't conquer 20,000 people. You get eventually, even if you can, let's say, kill everybody around you, eventually get tired or something. One arrow has to, hit one. It's a big miracle. They had a big miracle physically, and we don't recognize that miracle so much. That miracle is totally secondary in the holiday of Chanukah. So what are we celebrating on Chanukah, despite the fact that there also was a big physical saving, big physical miracle? Nevertheless, on Chanukah, we stress the spiritual side of it. Therefore, says the Rebbe, when we said now we can understand that the whole novelty of Chanukah is that they didn't set the holiday of Chanukah with physical meals like all the other holidays. But the main thing of Chanukah is praising God, Halal V'Hodah. This is the stress, the spiritual side of the holiday, the spiritual salvation of the miracle of Chanukah. Not only regarding the physical things, which on the other holidays, but also and mainly the spiritual, not like in Passover, we got out of Egypt in order to get the Torah, a secondary thing. No. On Chanuka, we're making the spiritual the main thing, and the physical is a secondary. And all the other holidays, all of the holidays are spiritual, but Chanuka, we make spiritual the main thing. That's the big stress is on Chanuka. Says the Rebbe, we can understand this, and this is what we're going to do tomorrow. We can understand this by what's the difference between bread and water and wine and oil. Can we do this? Can we do it? It's a little bit more. Well, let's try it. We'll try it. Okay. It's known that bread and water and wine and oil are different aspects of the Torah. Bread and water, that's like the physical Torah, the laws of the Torah, the Talmud. The wine hints at the secrets of the Torah, Kabbalah. And oil, that hints at Hasidut, what's called the secrets of the Torah. There was the first aspect of the Torah, which is totally physical, the laws of the Torah, the stories of the Torah. That's accessible to everybody. Right? That's accessible to everyone. The wine of the Torah, that's already the secrets of the Torah. And that's already the mystical aspect of the Torah. That's only relevant to certain people. The secrets of the Torah, those are even deeper secrets, but they're relevant to everybody. Everybody, the God that's creating us. That's the secrets of the Torah. That's the oil of the Torah. Let's explain. Water, bread and water, these are things which are necessary for a person to live. Wine and oil, these are things that a person doesn't need to live, but this adds on, makes things interesting. Joy by means of wine. Mishta Elokim, pleasure, it says by means of fat, by means of oil. Similarly in the Torah, the revealed part of the Torah, all the laws of the Torah, Dinei Torah, the laws of the Torah, as far as what's forbidden, what's permissible, what's impure, what's pure. Since Kevin Shemuchrach Tiyum Torah, because you have to do the commandments, Leda Amaisa Aser Yasun, that's the Torah that tells us what you should do. The Eila Shelot Asum, what you should do, what's forbidden, what's permissible. That's compared to bread and water. Why? Because just like Judaism depends on the commandments, and without the commandments, that's not Judaism. It's not Judaism. It's nice ideas, whatever, but it's not Judaism. Judaism is the commandments. Judaism means listening to the rabbis and doing everything the rabbis say regarding the commandments. That's what Judaism is. You want to do a little bit, you can't say have a little bit of Judaism, a little bit. Either you do all of the Judaism, or it's not really Judaism. It's just, it's approaching Judaism. It's a part of Judaism, but that's not really Judaism. So it comes out that bread and water, that's necessary for a person to live. He needs bread and water. That's like the Torah and the commandments, the revealed part of the Torah that teaches about the commandments. That's necessary for the existence of Judaism. The concealed part of the Torah, namely Maisa Bereshis, Maisa Merkava, the secrets of the Torah, the Kabbalah part of the Torah, that's knowing God. By means of this adds on pleasure and life in the Torah, excitement. And that's like wine. Like it says, Da es Elokei Avicha. This is like wine, and the pleasure of the Torah, that's like oil. This adds on life to the person, but it's not necessary for a person's life. The Nista, the Torah, in the hidden part of the Torah itself, there's a difference between the secrets of the Torah and the secrets of the Torah. What's the secrets of the Torah? The secrets of the Torah, what's far away from us? What's the secrets of the secrets? And that shows us something that's not limited to being far away. It's not limited, it's above limit. Therefore, it can be relevant to us. God is creating us, after all. He's the most obvious thing in the world. He's creating us. That's the secrets of the secrets. Like, for instance, the difference between wine and oil. wine, even though it's not necessary for a person, but therefore drinking wine is not patirus, it's not constant like water is. Only in special times. That there is added on the necessity for wine. Shabbat, Yom Tov, weddings, whatever. At these special times, so you drink wine as a liquid, but on its own. It's not, you don't drink wine in order to wash down your food or anything like that. Maybe in France they do, I don't know, but this is wine. Wine is an important beverage that you make a special blessing on it, which is not the case oil. Oil, when you use oil in order to add pleasure to a thing, right? Something is, the shemen is also the word for fat, but it's the same thing. You don't drink oil as a drink in itself, but what you have to mix it together with something else, and that makes it pleasurable. That makes it, how do you say, edible, nice. That's like the secrets of the Torah. The wine of the Torah, this hints at the secrets of the Torah that you could reveal, like wine in special times that you use it, like we say, in the holidays, etc. But oil, that represents an aspect of the Torah which is called the secrets of the secrets. This is aspects of the Torah that cannot possibly be revealed. Pure godliness, just like oil. The oil, you can't drink it on its own. You have to mix it in with something else. You have to mix it. According to this, now we can explain what's the whole novelty of Chanuka. Chanuka is oil. All the other holidays is like wine, bread, water. The holiday of Chanuka, there's no mitzvah to make meals at all. You don't have to eat bread or water or wine. The whole holiday is a holiday of praising God by means of lighting candles, which that reminds us of the miracle of the oil of Chanuka. Since that Chanuka is attached to oil, the oil of the Torah, the secrets of the secrets. This is being above any possibility of revelation. Pure godliness. That's the pure godliness of the Torah. How much more so it's above the revelation of the revealed part of the Torah. So the secrets of the Torah, and the secrets, that's wine, and the revealed part of the Torah is bread and water. And those we can reveal. A person can sit down and learn certain ideas about Kabbalah and this, but the secrets of the secrets, that's pure godliness, that cannot be revealed unless it's mixed in with something else. Mitzad Gadol Amayla, because it's so high, therefore the holiday of Chanukah, it's like oil, it cannot be set on a meal, bread, water, or even wine. It's a holiday on itself. The holiday of Chanukah is oil. Oil represents the secrets of the Torah. We're going to see how that's Hasidut, God willing, tomorrow. 1 minute.